What is the fastest way to gain wisdom? The fastest way to gain wisdom is to practice awareness. Wisdom does not come from age, it comes from awareness. Age and experience helps with the process of becoming aware, but it is not fundamental. Don't worry about too soon old, too late smart. Jump straight to wisdom by learning to become aware. You must develop an awareness of yourself far beyond what seems necessary. Understand your every emotion and its causation. Your every action and motivation of the action. Your every interaction and the thought that goes into it. Your motivators, fears, strengths and weaknesses. Become aware of who you are and what you do. You must develop an awareness of the world around you. Understand every culture. Learn how people think, work and act. Learn their emotions and what causes them. Study the events going on in your city. Don't just go through the day with your headphones on focusing on yourself. Look around you. A person cannot be wise without an understanding of the world they live in. There are numerous exercises for this, but my personal favorite is the following: go to a public place and just sit. Observe the people that walk past you and the objects that surround you. As you look at a person, train yourself to become conscious of what your judgment is of that person. Then strive to rid yourself of your judgment. Learn to observe without judging, a skill easier said than done. Take note of all of your surroundings and think about their function in this world. Why do they exist? Reflect on how you feel in the social setting. Are you uncomfortable? Confident? Anxious? Over time, just like anything else, you will become better and better at this exercise. And believe me, it does work. I used this exact exercise last September in Seattle, Washington. I headed down to the pier for a day to myself. As the world hustled and bustled all around me, I just sat and watched. I became aware of every person and thing around me. I practiced observing people of different cultures and not judging them. I reflected on how certain people's mannerisms or appearance made me feel. I thought about how I felt in the situation I placed myself in. And after a few hours of using this exercise, I learned just why it is so important to be aware. As I was heading back to the parking garage, something caught my attention. Just outside was a homeless man. I would usually pretend I didn't see him and continue on to my car, but my heightened level of awareness told me to act differently that day. I approached the broken, grimy human as a man approaching another man, nothing more, nothing less. I asked him if he wanted to grab a bite to eat, shook his hand and learned that his name is Steven, and then we headed to Miners Landing on the pier to get some burgers. We spoke for a long time, and I learned that he was in desperate need of someone to show him love and respect like I did that day. Steven was trying to recover from a heroin addiction and fighting depression after listening to a voicemail of his best friend blow his head off with a shotgun, blaming him for his death. Not only did I uplift Steven's well-being, he taught me valuable lessons about life that day. It was my awareness that called me into action. An aware person sees the world differently than other people do. They approach things with a perspective outside of themselves and make decisions apart from just what would benefit them. We can all recall a time or 200 that someone our senior has said, "Wait until you get older, you'll get it." A classic. Enjoy the kiddo. Before you know it, your little will graduate, get married, and then you'll be a grandparent, just like me. Nah, nothing better. Let's not elaborate on the countless times cursing the parents under breath for being consistently accurate on how situations will pan out. It's like they hid the Parenting 101 handbook from us to learn the hard way. There is, to me, a fairly simple reason they are so knowledgeable. Experiences. As we age, hopefully, we have experienced different aspects of life. That enables one to express views someone less seasoned may not know of. Ask questions. I am an inquisitive person, so it's not uncommon for me to ask an individual several questions. Typically I learn something new and the person I am engaging feels important. People like to answer questions about things they are passionate about or knowledgeable. Listen. Not pretend to listen. Truly listen. Odds are you will hear exactly what someone is trying to tell you. Change careers. I was taught you either go to college or find a career you can retire from when you finally turn 100. I have owned a hair salon, and I have been a sandwich artist. Several things in between. The job is irrelevant if you aren't giving it your all, being true to the best you. Read, and read some more. Thankfully, reading has always come naturally and genuinely enjoyable to me. Knowledge is power. Reading is an excellent choice to gain wisdom. Read as much as you can about a topic, hobby, or career you want to excel in. Judgment-free zone. This can be a tricky one. Let's face it. We all are guilty of judging a person or situation at some point in our life. It happens. We get set in our ways. If I have strong feelings about something, it can be difficult to sway me. When I step back, take my judgments out of the process, I find it plays out differently at times. Who knows? Maybe even a little better. QUORATHERAPY. Yes, friends, I saved the best for last. And if you are reading this, you're sharing the feels with me.